What's up, gamers? It's your boy MtG here, back with another Magic the Gathering deck tech and gameplay video, and we're doing a little mono red aggro, but we're doing it Goblin style. So let's get into this deck tech. Okay guys, so with War of the Spark, it brought us a few things to play around with Goblins with, mainly Krenko 10th Street Kingpin. Now Krenko is super fun. You've probably seen a lot of meme decks that are just trying to get Krenko's power as high as possible, make as many Goblins as possible. Those are super fun, and that's roughly what we're doing here, except we're really just trying to do it as fast as, rather than as much power as possible, we're trying to do it as fast as possible, okay? So, we've got 4 Krenko 10th Street Kingpins, because whenever Krenko 10th Street Kingpin attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it, then create a number of 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens equal to Krenko's power. Already, that's pretty good if we attack with him once or twice without even buffing him at all. We're doing pretty well for ourselves, okay? Now, there are a lot of things that are going to make this deck actually kind of good. I wouldn't say it's super competitively viable, but it is an option for a mono red deck. If you got a bunch of Goblin cards, there's ways to make it really good, okay? And one of the main ways that we do that we make Krenko good, is with Goblin Warchief, okay? So Goblin Warchief costs 3 mana, he's a 2/2, and makes Goblin spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and he gives Goblins you control haste, which means that we can cast Krenko for 2 mana, and he can attack immediately. We can also, cast Goblin Instigator for 1, Legion Warboss for 2. Goblin Chainwhirler stays the same, but again, Goblin Chainwhirler does get haste if we have him on the field, and we get Trashmaster and Siege Gang Commander for 1 mana cheaper. So, we just want to put a lot of Goblins on the field, and then we have 3 copies of Goblin Trashmaster, because he gives all our Goblins +1/+1, and that's all I gotta say about that. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. We want to get a lot of Goblins and then just punch our opponent in the face with as many Goblins as we can. Now, in order to make Krenko stronger, we have a couple of cards that we're going to do that with. First of all, we have 4 copies of Samut's Sprint. Now, Samut's Sprint costs 1 red, and target creature gets +2/+1 and gains haste until end of turn. So, in a scenario where we don't have Goblin Warchief on the field, we can still give Krenko haste and let him attack immediately, and Samut Sprint gives him a +2, so we're already making more Goblins with his attack. So that's really, really, really good. Also, we have Run Amok. So if you attack with Krenko before his trigger resolves, where he's creating Goblin tokens, we can play Run Amok on him because he's attacking creature at that point, and then give him the +3/+3 and trample, and then he'll create 3 more Goblins. So that's kind of amazing. It's really, really good. Okay, so we have a couple other cards that have some interesting interactions. Okay, so we have Skirk Prospector, which is a 1/1 for 1, and you can sacrifice a Goblin to add a red mana. So anytime we get kind of mana screwed, which might happen occasionally, we can just sacrifice a Goblin token to create another mana for us to play our more expensive spells, like Goblin Trashmaster and Siege Gang Commander, and Goblin Chainwhirler, because his mana cost is not reduced by Goblin Warchief, so sometimes we might have to sacrifice a creature in order to get Goblin Chainwhirler down. We're only playing 20 lands in here because we're trying to do this, we're trying to get as much on the board as fast as we can, so we don't want our hand to get loaded down with mountains, and especially in a game that goes a little bit longer than 4 or 5 turns, we don't want to be flooding out with lands. Yeah, we only play 20. You could probably cut this to 19. I watched a build of a deck similar to this with that Merchant played, and he had 19 lands, and he had a few different things in there. So we do have Legion Warboss because this is good, good value throughout the game. It keeps on making tokens and you don't even have to attack with Legion Warboss to make the token, which is actually pretty nice. We play 3 Risk Factor because since we're an aggro deck, we're going to be dealing a lot of damage to them, and if we play Risk Factor, they probably won't be able to take the 4 damage, and they'll have to let us draw cards, which is going to be very, very important. Of course, there is an argument to be made for playing a Chandra or even a Experimental Frenzy. That might be a better option, just play 1 or 2 of those instead of some Risk Factors, but I think Risk Factor is actually a better option right now, just because we're going to be dealing damage right out of the gate, and so this can allow us to draw some cards pretty easily. Siege Gang Commander is also very nice, really, really nice, because we can sacrifice creatures to deal damage to any target, so if we're in a situation where we can't really attack, we can remove our opponent's creatures by sacrificing tokens and dealing damage to those creatures or damage to planeswalkers, or even just pinging our opponent's face with damage by sacrificing goblins. So we've got a lot of fun stuff we can do here. I did forget to mention we do have 3 shocks in here just for early game removal, especially against like green and things like that. We want to be killing Llanowar elves on turn 1 or 2, you know, so they can't be ramping up. And sometimes this helps us kill planeswalkers without ever attacking. I think that's probably all I need to say about the deck. Let's just play the game. Okay, I'm not playing this in ranked today. We're just gonna play it in the play queue, just so we can have a little fun. Ooh, we could mulligan this, but actually, we probably need a mulligan to make sure we get our second mountain. But we are on the draw, so we can play Skirk Prospector on turn 1, and then get Instigator down on turn 2, assuming we draw a land on our first 2 turns. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Actually, I'm gonna keep this. This seems pretty risky, but I think this is gonna be. I think this is going to be good. Okay, so there we did draw mountains. That's nice. So we can actually play Goblin Instigator on turn 2. And since we'll have Goblin creature tokens early, we can go ahead and sack those goblins in order to play more expensive spells like Trashmaster and Siege Gang Commander. Dreadhorde Butcher. That is interesting. Okay, so we've got a Dreadhorde Butcher out. We'll go ahead and play Goblin Instigator now. I know we have Krenko, but I want to play. Want to wait till next turn to get the Warchief down, so we'll pass. And I want to make sure we have blockers for Dreadhorde Butcher because we can't really allow that to get much bigger. Hero of Precinct 1. So we're looking at Mardu Hero here, kind of an aggro build of Mardu Hero as well with Footlight Fiend and Dreadhorde Butcher. And that's fine, because we've got, we'll go ahead and, yeah, we got to sack a goblin. We'll sack this token to play Goblin Warchief, and then I'm just going to pass the turn. I don't think I want to sack more stuff in order to play right now, so I'm just going to pass until, because we can play Krenko next turn and get his, play Samut Sprint on him too. Judith, oh, that screws us over pretty hard. Yeah, that was a good draw for the opponent there, for sure, because now all their creatures are way stronger. Yeah, I mean, we're going to actually we'll take the hit from that. I'm not real worried about that right now. Pass to damage. Go to my turn. Okay, we got an Instigator, but I think we go ahead and play Krenko. Now, I'm wondering whether we... I don't think it's really worth it. They've got too many blockers for us to really want to play Samut Sprint on him and sacrifice a creature. So I'm going to pass again, and hopefully we can get Trashmaster down next turn and Samut Sprint. So we really need to draw into a mountain here pretty soon. Pretty soon. They're building up a huge board of things that are going to be making us really sad. So this is not a good matchup for us at all. This, especially with Cruel Celebrant, that life gain makes us pretty sad. Yeah, we take the damage again, just because I can't really afford to block and have them kill Krenko 10th Street Goblin with their extra damage. So we'll go to my turn, Run Amok. Let's go ahead and play. I'm going to sacrifice Instigator to play Trashmaster. And then I'm going to attack with Krenko because we're going to need blockers here. I want to make sure I have full control on so I can actually get this trigger correct. Yeah, and then we're going to play Samut Sprint on Krenko. We got to pay for it. So let's just sacrifice Skirk Prospector here. Sacrifice yourself. And actually, we want to keep that on top for show. So now we've got 5 Goblin tokens that are 2/2s. So we're in a decent position here, especially since we have a mountain on top. We can actually play. We can play a lot next turn. Okay, so they blocked that. That's fine. Run Amok is going to be huge for us next turn. Yikes! Hero Precinct 1 is not very good, and I need to be mindful and make sure we don't kill their Dreadhorde Butcher and allow them to destroy our Krenko here. That would be a real shame. Okay. We'll go ahead and play Instigator. I'm going to go all attack except for you and you. Make sure I have full control on again so I can time this Run Amok better. Yeah, here we go. We played Run Amok on Krenko. So he's going to get buffed up to a 6-7, and then he puts +1/+1 counter, so we make 7 more tokens. And he's a 7-8 with Trample, baby. So they could block and kill him here. They've got enough damage with Judith and Footlight Fiend and Dreadhorde Butcher if they wanted to, but even if they do, we're going to be in a very good position here. The only thing I'm mainly worried about is them killing my Trashmaster with the extra damage from Footlight Fiend and Dreadhorde Butcher. Oh, we were 1 away. So they do get extra life from their Cruel Celebrant. I think they didn't realize Krenko had Trample there. I'm wondering if they can actually come back here. I think they kind of played that wrong, to be honest. If I were them, I probably would have... Okay. This is not very good because now they can attack for a lot of life gain here. Okay, I think they played that right now that I'm thinking about it, because they have a Sorin here, and they potentially can kill us. I'm fairly certain they kill us here. Yeah, that's it. That's GG, I think. So we go... Wait, no, wait, is it? Okay, because they can deal 3 damage with Dreadhorde Butcher. They'll deal... Yeah, we're dead. We're dead. Because of all of the on-death triggers, there's no way we could survive that attack. Yikes. Okay, well, hopefully we will... I mean, Wartech performed pretty well there, actually. Especially, like, ooh, not what I wanted to click on. What the heck? I want to go down here. When we have Skirk Prospector just able to generate a bunch of mana for us to do pretty much exactly what we want, it's very nice. I mean, of course, we're sacrificing a little bit of power when we sacrifice our goblins, but not, like... Usually not too much, because we're getting a lot more value out of them than the 1/1 token that it was, you know. And we don't have to, it's not like we have to sacrifice non-token creatures. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good situation. I'm not upset about the way that one went. I'm actually pretty pleased with it. Why are we starting off with just 1 again? This is horrible. Since we go first here, I feel like we can't really keep this hand. Let's go ahead and mulligan, hopefully. Yeah, okay, so we get a Prospector and an Instigator here. I'm pretty okay with this, since we get a Scry too. I'm actually going to put the mountain on the bottom. I just wanted to make sure we had more than 1 mountain at our disposal. And now we need to draw into a Krenko, really. Krenko or a Goblin Warchief. Krenko is good. But we're going to go ahead and play the Instigator now instead of playing the Krenko immediately, because we can play Krenko next turn with haste. So we'll end the turn dealing 1 damage there. I wonder what this is. Something like Gruul, but they don't have a play here. Okay, so we will sacrifice this token. Playing Krenko. And I'm going to sacrifice the Instigator to play Samut's Sprint on him. I'm actually going to put the Shock on the bottom. I'd rather draw into a Warchief or a Trashmaster here. But we have, and we have plenty of mana to do almost whatever we want. So let's see if they get an actual blocker down here, or if they just try to kill Spitflame. Well, that's pretty lame. I guess we have to resolve that. So it's looking like, I guess it's a Gruul Dragons is what they're playing, because they have Spitflame. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna actually... Wait, what is it? What helps me more? I think it helps me more if I sacrifice one goblin and play the Goblin Warchief, because it has haste anyway, so we deal an extra 1 damage. So we take them to 8 here, and they're going to have to remove something if they want to not die real quick. Spit Flame. I'm going to... They concede. Okay. I was going to sacrifice Goblin Warchief and a couple tokens to play Risk Factor on them, because then they'd have to probably draw cards. Let me draw cards, I mean. Yeah, well, that was good. They had a slow start, because they're playing Dragons, and Dragons is just kind of a slow deck. But I'm pretty pleased with how that went. I mean, they killed our Krenko, but we were able to get his trigger off a couple of times. It makes me so happy every time I'm making, like, 4 tokens with Krenko. It's so good. Gosh, it's so good. Okay, Techno Chocolate. I can keep this. We don't have a Skirk Prospector. We don't have a Krenko, but we do have plays here. We do have quite a few plays. So we got Instigator turn 2, Warchief turn 3, and then we have Trashmaster turn 4. So I'm pretty pleased with this. We don't want to flood out, but we'll be, you know, we'll accept it if it happens. Llanowar Elves. Okay. I wish we had a shock here to destroy that Llanowar Elves, but, you know, we don't really have any options. So we'll just go ahead and attack. I'm fairly certain they don't block. Yep. So they go to 16. It's Simic. They're showing Simic right now. They could be going like Temur or Sultai. Prime Speak of Vanifar. So they're doing a pod thing. Yeah, we can attack with everything, and if they block, we play Samut Sprint on something and kill Prime Speaker Vanifar. Yep, well, you've messed up, opponent. You messed up big time. Actually going to put that on bottom because we want to draw a Krenko here. I mean, I think they concede, yeah. Not much they can do about that. That was a mistake. I mean, they didn't have much option, right? We were putting out a lot of damage right there. The Warchief into Trashmaster is a great, great combo. Wonderful. All right, we'll play one more game to kind of seal the deal. I'm actually very pleased with how this is going right now. It's doing very well. Hello there. Okay, we got a Prospector and a 10th Street Kingpin and a Legion Warboss. That is super okay with me. Super okay. I would love to draw into a Warchief pretty quickly, so we can play Warchief on turn 2 by sacrificing Skirk Prospector. But we draw into a Mountain instead. Hello there. We will pass the turn. Okay, so they're not showing anything yet. Prospector. Huh. I think we probably actually... Wait, what can we do here? If we go... Huh. I think we may sack itself and play the Legion Warboss, actually. I think this is the play because we make tokens immediately with Warboss. Final payment? Are you kidding me? Okay, well, they paid 5 life for that. So... I'm guessing they're doing an Aristocrats thing. Okay, Kaya Orzhov Usurper, so they'll probably exile this or exile that from my graveyard. Oh, alright, dude. Let's go and do Krenko here. They might be able to kill it, but like if they kill it, not the end of the world, I guess. We're running out of options though, to be fair. And any deck with like a lot of single target removal hurts us if we're not able to you know, do stuff. Okay, well, let's see about this. We'll go ahead and play the Skirk Prospector. I can tell they're holding something up. Yeah, they're holding up a thing. Now that I've passed to combat. Okay, yeah. They destroy that. They paid 5 life for that, though. Again, not real sure why. Wait, what? I did not mean to end my turn. Oh my god, I suck at this game. Ah, jeez. Okay, well, whatever. We're gonna do some fun stuff here in a second. So they're doing just an Orzhov life gain thing, I guess. Yeah, alright then. I'm very sad that I did not play my Krenko last turn. We can play Samut Sprint on him. I think we probably bottom Siege Gang Commander. He becomes a 4/4. So I'm not worried about him getting blocked and killed by Resplendent Angel. And they don't block that, which is surprising. Pretty surprising. Maybe they have a board wipe here? Maybe. Maybe they just have some way to gain life. Soren, okay, they have a way to gain life, and they can actually... Oh, wow, okay. They're able to gain 5 life on this turn and make the Angel token, because they can gain life with Kaya. Well played, opponent. So they're going to have a blocker, but I can still deal quite a bit of damage, especially if I top deck something good. Yeah, so they're able to make the blocker. We attack all to the face. I'm trying to calculate damage here. I can make him a 5/6. He'll deal 1. That'll be 4. Shoot. I think I've got to kill Soren is the thing. I'm going to do this, actually. I'm going to try to kill all their Planeswalkers instead of just trying to go for the face and outpace them. Because they've got so much life gain right now that it will be very difficult for me to actually... Why did you not let me do that? Oh my god. It's so stupid. You've got to put full... Okay, if you're going to do the Run Amok thing, you've got to put full control on. Or you just... Golly, that makes me so mad. I would have had 3 more Goblin tokens. That's actually like a huge loss. So we got to kill Soren there, but whatever. That makes me very upset. And they don't have enough mana to... Okay. Can I just win? So they can gain 2 life. No, they cannot gain 2 life. So they probably exile one of these tokens. So they're exiling cards. They don't gain any life. That's pretty bad. I think I just... The bad news is, right, if they get 1 more land, they can attack with a 5/5 lifelinker and create another token. And they can create tokens with God Eternal. So I really needed those freaking Goblin tokens, huh? And I need to not be flooding out right now. I think I'd attack with everyone except Krenko, because Krenko dies, and I can't really let Krenko die right now. And they can only block 2 of them, so they take 5 damage. And then I'm gonna go ahead and end turn. They may have removal for Krenko, in which case I'll probably just lose. Trashmaster, it would be a good play if I top decked Trashmaster. Bottoming Siege Gang Commander is starting to feel like a huge mistake. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Alinda the Dusk Rose can be dangerous. Ah, jeez. Okay, well. Yeah, I mean, we lose, right? They kill a bunch of our creatures. And Alinda gets stronger. Yeah, she goes up to a 4/4. That's a good game. Well, I'm not going to play anymore, but this is a pretty fun deck. We ran into a little bit of trouble there. I think you actually probably do want to cut down to 19 lands now that I've played it a little more. and we ended up flooding more than I expected, though I did have an issue where I did scry that Siege Gang Commander to the bottom, hoping to pick up a Trashmaster or a Chainwhirler, which I did not, of course. But anyway, that's the deck, you guys. That's the deck. I don't suggest playing this in best of 3. This is really a best of 1 kind of deal where they're not expecting a bunch of goblins on the field. And yeah, so this is pretty fun. Let me know what you thought of this deck in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, and if you want to see more videos of mine, be sure to subscribe and smash the notification bell. You don't have to do that. Don't do that. But you know, like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment if you have suggestions for what you want to see next. Is what I was trying to say. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure. Bye.